Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspil, and Wyatt Turk of Jacket Club's Painting. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, good to be here.
Happy to be here.
Yo.
So it's I gotta admit, first of all, let's talk about the real news. I was told today that I don't have to poop for 30 minutes in the morning by my girlfriend, and I was like, I don't?
Off to the races with a poop story?
I mean, that was it. Like, that is my poop story. She was just like, you don't have to, and I was like, I don't?
It's more of a poop PSA.
Yeah.
PSA.
I'm gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. Making it better, kinder, gentler mornings, I guess. Yikes!
Your bathroom is like in your bedroom.
It is, in fact, in my bedroom. That is true. Well, mostly. There's a door involved. It's not like your house. You have like that pocket door. When I was staying at your place, I was using a bathroom and it's like a pocket door, and I was
don't poop in that bathroom. That is not the designated poop lounge.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't work. Like, people can't poop in here. There's no ceiling. There's no hermetic barrier around this door, and then it goes like right out into your living room.
Oh yeah, the whole living room smells like human feces if somebody poops up there. It is the stupidest design ever.
Kenny's bedroom is his bathroom.
Yeah. Well, my Beats Lab is. Like the hobo sink is also, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
But it's like, how do you do 3-hour streams without having to pee? I was like,
got him.
Charlie, light a match.
I never thought about that. That's a very good point.
I'm not wearing pants, so it's
Nice.
I think people would know on my stream though, because you can see the cat camera, and sometimes I walk by it. You would definitely tell if I didn't have pants on.
Well, you're grown up. You probably just go excuse yourself and go to the bathroom if you have to pee, don't you?
I take streaming pretty seriously.
So you're prepared to pee yourself for a stream?
No, absolutely not.
You don't take it as seriously as I do.
No, it's only warm for just like, the first minute or two. Then it gets really cold.
Which one of you assholes shit my pants? Which one of you cowards shit my pants?
Shit all over the coats.
Maybe Giant's milk is like the Westeros laxative. Keeps you regular.
Well, speaking of regular, this was not a regular weekend for me. And first off, let me just be the first to say, last weekend, I hope everybody has a good Memorial Day weekend. I actually don't know if that's an international holiday, but if it is, everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend. If not, just you people here in the States, you know who you are. There's no explaining. So I know Kenny and Wyatt are going to Bay Area Open for long war doubles and of course singles. But I hope to.
So you're going out of order, so we can use this as a callback to what we pre-prepared.
No, I'm just saying. I hope that everybody has a good gaming weekend. But I wanted to talk about last weekend because maybe it's just me, and correct me if I'm wrong. I just didn't really feel a very excited, like hobby excitement over the weekend.
Wait,
like,
you didn't, dog, contrast.
No. There really wasn't any new developments until like today. Like they just put out that video. I don't know.
You were bored until today because that new video was hype.
I watched it. I didn't really feel anything. I mean,
Damn, Rob is like a serial killer. It's like
maybe I'm the weirdo here, but like you can show me something and you can be, this is the dopest shit ever, and you need this, and it's gonna change your hobby life. But until I get it in my hands, I'm not gonna believe you. It can be good or it can be bad, but I want to know for myself. And yes, I will buy it. I will buy at least one of them.
we should talk about it, but like not okay. We've talked about it. This will be the third time in a row we've discussed contrast. Now we're not gonna.
They keep putting it out.
All right, so our opinions are already in. Like everyone understands how we feel about it. Everyone understands our backgrounds. Haspil has gone as far to say he's going to create a super sick ass review video, market his return and video content. So I can't wait for that. So that's a thing. So we're going to do all that, but we do have to talk about the new video because this is what we do. A new video dropped. Mm-hmm. We spread the links around. I'm sure all of you've seen them already, and it's objectively a hype ass video where they brought a bunch of Slayer Sword and Golden Demon Sword winning pro painters, like competition painters. From what I can gather, like they brought them all in, flew them out there, put them in a room, was like, fuck around with these paints, and we're going to interview you afterwards, and we're going to cut together a promo video, right? And it was pretty interesting to see all these big names, all these prolific painters. Sam Lenz was there. I love that dude. Ben was there. I love that dude. Lots of other dudes whom I also love. Not my favorites here. I mean, I am like Sam Lenz and Ben are my favorites.
No, they're all good painters,
but
they all have a great following, and they all have their own very particular style in their own right.
They're amazing. They're all award-winning painters, and so it was interesting to see their opinions on it and see how maybe some of them kind of shaded their opinion one way or the other, or did their best to be as political about it. And some people were super hype about it, right? And I just want to bring up the video because I don't want anyone to get confused with a review video and like a PR video. Like,
yeah, it's definitely a PR video. I don't, and maybe there's some universal definition out there that somebody can point us to, but if you don't even talk about the price of something, it's not a review video. And if you don't compare it to something else, it's not a review video.
If it's a homogenous group of people using the same stuff, the same products, and not being allowed, because I promise you, this is like I said, it's a PR video. There's a limit to what you're allowed to say. And if no negative criticism is going to make the final cut, it's not a review video. And I can't obviously back that with proof, but come on.
I mean, I don't know. G-Dub's doing their job, right? Like they're gonna get this stuff out when it's time, when it's close, and don't get it twisted. There's gonna be a whole new racking. There's gonna be much fanfare and much trumpeting out there, which is great, and that's the way it should be for any product release, in my opinion. And they're gonna put this stuff in people's hands, and then we really get to see like not only the people that they put it into their hands, but once people non-chosen by GW get it into their hands, then we'll really get a fair shake on it. Which is
why it's important to remind everyone it's a PR video. GW is controlling the distribution of information here. They're putting these controlled videos out first because they know that there's a bunch of haters, a bunch of people who want to make videos about how much something sucks.
Sure.
That's not going to be us. We're going to be as objective as we can because we're going to do a review. So it's going to be straight up, literally objective. But I wanted to go over some of the highlights in there, Rob, like 3 major highlights in that video, 3 different opinions. I think that can encapsulate all the opinions. Sam's opinion was, I can see this being a great product for someone doing a tabletop army. Somebody, and I didn't have time to write down all the names because I didn't recognize all the painters. I'm sorry to say. One guy said, "This is the hypest shit. This is going to change the game." I'm obviously dramatizing that, but he said it's going to change the game. And one other dude said, "This is a great tool to put in the toolbox." So those are the 3 encapsulating opinions about the range that these painters said. Now you can take it with a grain of salt. You can take it as 100% their feelings. Maybe they were super hyped because they got a free trip to the event. Maybe there was other literature involved. Maybe there's some edits. But at the end of the day, those are the 3 predominant opinions. And that's all the information we have right now for how they function. They showed a couple of clips of the dudes using them, but then a lot of far away clips of them using them. And I saw a lot of guys using them in different ways. Some guys are going on real thin, very glazy. Some guys are dumping it on there. So they were playing with it. And it looked like they had a lot of pre-prepared models that were already primed white. I saw some like plague drones in there. Saw some poxwalkers in there. Didn't see a lot of linear, hard edge Space Marine kind of models. I saw kind of the models best suited for it. But my takeaway is, 100% PR video. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's really all you can do at the end of the day. So I that's probably all we need to say about Contrast at this point, I suppose, until we get more information on it. I suppose we can go into Tabletop Market Watch.
When's it supposed to come out? Do they have a release date?
It's definitely going to be in so
they've not said a day, but they have said June multiple times.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be in June because it's already in warehouses. So it's basically ready to go. So they're going to be rolling it out. And remember, just a couple of things to keep a note if you're keeping track of GW financials and what's going on in the company. The 31st is their end of fiscal year. So there's a lot of stuff that's important about that because then they tend to roll out things pretty quick and pretty hard. And we already know, going into June, there's going to be a lot of stuff. And most of it they have shown already from previews and such. But so there's going to be some revamps to AOS. There's going to be the contrast paints. Chaos Knights, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I'm sorry, folks. And, as far as that goes, but definitely super stoked for that. So that stuff is definitely on the way in, and Apocalypse too. Apocalypse is going to be hit in June. That's going to be very interesting. So, I mean, we can jump into Tabletop Market Watch here because there isn't a whole lot of big stuff coming out. Going on pre-order this Saturday, just some stuff for Necromunda and Blood Bowl, which is really great specialist games. Necromunda has a new rules book coming out for $37, where it will have the new Bad Zone environment in there. You can also get separate event cards, which are $15. The Cal Jericho and Scabs character models are $35. Those will be out as well. And Necromunda card sleeves are coming out. I'm not exactly sure what those are for. Maybe those are for the environments event cards. Those are like larger stratagem size cards from Titanicus, if you're familiar with that size. And then for Blood Bowl,
what game was that again?
Titanicus. There's originally when Titanicus came out, there was like 4-ish people that played it, but now it's up to like 6 to 8 people, I think.
Yeah, and I have it. I just haven't opened the box.
I want to call out a good friend of the show, Viking Teabagger in chat, which we don't always call people out in chat in the podcast. He says, "Fuck, Kenny didn't blow that hobo hard enough. If we got to wait this long." And that's obviously in reference to the statement I made about Chaos Knights. I assure you, sir, services were rendered at the limit of my ability, and everyone involved was happy with services rendered. This would be on GW. It's not on me.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we're going to start seeing Chaos Mirror matches. This is going to be fun. So Necromunda stuff coming out. Blood Bowl, if you like playing on hard mode, the Halflings are coming out. They've got the Halfling team for $35, Halfling dice set for $15, Spike Journal issue. What's that?
The Fun Police. Halflings are they're so infuriating to play against. Like, how do we call them the Fun Police? It's like,
oh really?
Oh, they are frustrating. And like, if you want to be that guy in your Blood Bowl league, play Halflings, man. Like, you will just ruin people's seasons.
Would you say they're the Dream Crushers?
I wouldn't say they're the Dream Crushers, but it's just like when you hear you're going to play a Halfling team, you're just kind of like, ugh, like, damn it. Like, it's just, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be over quickly. Like, nothing you do is going to, like, you're going to miss like 99% of your blocks. They're going to run all over you. It's just they're the Fun Police.
There it is. That's from, we went down to the field to get the story from our Blood Bowl correspondent.
Solid.
There's a pitch in dugouts for $42 and the Halfling team card pack as well for $25. So that will carry us through May, and then something will come out in July. Maybe Apocalypse. I almost feel like it's 2007 all over again because we're getting Apocalypse. Britney Spears is having another emotional breakdown, and we still got Cats. And I have a hard time knowing what year it is these days. Haspil, you been playing any video games?
Yeah, so I missed somehow I missed the announcements, right? That when they were doing all their big announcements and everything about all the games that were coming out. So I don't play video games that much anymore. I just don't have time. I play Overwatch for like a half hour a night. And I logged into Steam because I was going to play Battlelore. That's been my new thing, right? And all of a sudden, there was like a Skulls for the Skull Throne sale that GW was having. And there were announcements of new games. And one of them is my favorite GW game of all time, which is Underworlds, Shadespire and Night Vault, the crime fighting vault. so I was all about that hype, and it's like an early release. And then I saw a game called Dark Future Blood Red States, and I was like, man, this doesn't even look like a GW game until I clicked on it. And it's like out of the dark depths of my memory from the early, like actually not the early, the late 80s. I think it was like 88 was this game called Dark Future. It's very, very clearly influenced by Mad Max, by the Mad Max films and everything like that. This game, I don't know if you want to pay full price for it. To be honest, it's like $20 or something. It's definitely worth it on sale. These guys, the same guys who made, I think their name is Auroch Digital. They made the Chainsaw Warrior games, if you remember that. And these are old GW games where they had a lot of tracking that you needed to do, and the computer is just much better suited at doing all the bookkeeping. You know what I mean? And so you can just play the game. And they came out with this game that's it's like a roguelike, where you play as a guy who's going out in a car and you kit it out. And to be very honest, what it reminds me of the most, and this is going to appeal to some of the old heads out there, some of the grognards. If you remember the old Apple II game or the Atari or Commodore 64 game called Auto Duel, which was a computer version of the Steve Jackson game Car Wars, but with RPG elements in it. This is what it is most like. It is very, very similar to Auto Duel. And in fact, the graphics and everything, the interface just screams 1980s. The actual game doesn't. It uses the Unreal 3 engine, so it's very modern. It looks really good. But the interface is completely late 80s. So it was a very nostalgic game for me, and I've been hyping it. I wasted way too much time playing that. So I just felt I wanted to talk about it just in case some people didn't know it was out there, because I didn't know it was out there. It just showed up on this sale, and I was like, Dark Future. And it was a really kind of just an old GW board game where, much like, I think it's Gaslands, right?
It's very similar to Castellan.
Yeah, where you took like Hot Wheels and actual like Hot Wheels and man, see, my old brain is losing it. I can't even Matchbox cars, right? And you would kit out your Matchbox cars with little cardboard and machine guns and show what weapons they had on them and play it. And my friends and I played it a couple times, but we migrated over to Car Wars, and then on the computer played Auto Duel. And it was just crazy. I mean, the opening screen of this thing reminds me of Auto Duel, except the Auto Duel was monochrome, but this isn't. But I was like, wow, this is, I mean, it's a very nostalgic game. I don't know if newer gamers will enjoy it. I think you will. As a roguelike, it is not an expensive game. It is a fun, just get in there, run a mission for 10 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds pretty dope. I definitely was tracking the Dark Futures, but I'm kind of interested in the Warhammer Underworlds, because if they're basically going to the online version of the actual physical game, so you don't have to paint any miniatures, you can still do the card construction or the deck construction. So it's kind of like Magic Online, but still with the miniature aspect. So, and I'm sure a lot of stuff, there'll be triggers like the pushbacks and then the double pushbacks and the lethals. So I'm wondering how they're going to do all that.
I really honestly cannot wait for that. And it said 2019 on that.
Right. It might be like Q4 this year.
Yeah.
I would guess. I mean, like, I have like 3 things that I would want in that game, and then it would be awesome. It's like, first off, it's got to be the same rules with the same deck building. It can't be like some half-assed like amalgam of stuff. It's got to be same cards, same deck building, right? Same like thing too is it's got to be at least partially animated with your guys. So like if it's a hex-based game, you select a guy, mouse over like 3 hexes, click on the hex, he walks over there. If it's a charge,
like a battle chess type game.
Yeah, like battle chess.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like crazy. Just like battle chess. That's all we need. And the third thing is like some small amount of army customability, like a palette swapper. Maybe
like skins
or something. Like skins would be. Oh, it'd be so cool if they did skins. But yeah, those 3 things, and I will be immediately sold. If it's like this is sort of Underworlds, but you don't actually use cards and blah blah. Like no, I'm immediately out.
I'm actually completely with you there, Wyatt. I want the exact same experience I get from playing the miniatures game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go one step further. I'm like, give me a single player campaign. Even if I'm locked into just playing Stormcasts for the single player campaign, I'm down with that.
It's like a, Baby's first Shadespire campaign. Like that would be fine with some, some voice acting, some cinematic. It doesn't have to be a AAA title, but that would be cool.
I'm literally down if it's like battle chess, but it's Shadespire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm 100% with that. And obviously they're going to try to make some money. So they're going to sell, I would imagine that they're going to sell the boosters and everything.
That's how you make your money. It's like the Blizzard one.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's like Hearthstone. And then like on top of that, make some freemium content that's like skins for your army. Alternate skins. Seasonal skins are like really popular in those types of competitive games.
And 6 months ago, I would have hardcore disagreed with you. And then like they came out with some really badass skins for Sombra and I bought them. So I wholeheartedly agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I think skins, you can paint your miniature, air quotes, which would be kind of neat to see too.
They had that in the Dawn of War games.
Yeah. Like minimalistic palette swapper so that I can at least like have a different color scheme than every other person playing Fire Slayers,
Wow, somebody busted out Archon. That's an old game. I guess they remade it though. So who was that? Cletus 3K. Look on Steam. I think there is a remake of Archon that is modernized. Check it out.
OG right there. Yeah, there's still Underworld stuff coming. We know there's a new season for the tabletop. They previewed one of the figures, which kind of looks like a lion from Trace, which I guess doesn't exist anymore in the High Elf lore. But I'm definitely hopeful for a lot of cool new lore, because in the Forbidden Power rulebook, if you're tracking AOS stuff, when that comes out this weekend along with the Dominion Sigmar terrain, there was a lot more interaction between the brothers Tequilus and Tyrion, and also Sigmar and Grungy, which are whatever the dwarven god is.
Grungy. The audiobook with Gotrek, they say Grungy, I think is
Grungy. Okay, that sounds about right. And it was it's really cool to see. But if they're trying to develop the twins persona and elf thing, then chances are they seem to use a lot of things like the Silver Tower or like the Underworlds as test beds for hey, if this particular warband is popular, maybe we should pop out a whole like army on it, kind of like what we saw with the Deepkin in the Spellcaster.
That on that little lion, the base was aquatic themed. We had like coral and a starfish and some crystals.
So that's probably the theme of the season, or maybe it's like
it could be the theme of the season. Like usually if the seasonal box set, like those two factions are themed, whereas everybody else's bases are themed to like their individual faction. So if they're showing off, like maybe a lion comes with one of the two new sets in like the season 3 box set, right? Mm-hmm. Like maybe it's some sort of like Sunken City of Atlantis type thing, or it could just be like a new warband that's like aquatic themed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go with it. I would be very surprised if they don't just drop like an upgrade card pack this summer, like they did last year about this time. They're like, well, Shadespire's over, but here's some heroes cards, and and then in the fall, they're like, oh well, here's the new season. It's called Nightfall. Like, sweet.
Any speculation on what the new season will be called if it's underwater themed?
Poseidon's Taint.
No, I don't, dude. Oh.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
so far behind though. It's
Give
like
you a GW.
I still got to pick up Night Vault and all the expansions for it.
Just so you know too, Wyatt wins all my naming competitions that I run on Twitch. Whenever we name something, we do like a little, poll, and then everyone votes, and then the winner gets like Yo Dogs.
Oh, I got an even better one that's also an old Hanna-Barbera deep cut. So we have Shadespire, Night Vault. What about Dark Waters?
Ooh.
Pirates of Dark Water, boys.
Oh, I forgot about that cartoon.
Yeah,
I'm down with it.
It could be Waters, but the first part, I don't know about that first word. I could definitely see it being Waters.
I mean, I'm just using synonyms for the exclusion of lights. We have like shade, night, and dark. I don't know what that's the end of my linguistic skill.
Why wouldn't they go with that? This is the same company that has blackface salamander marines.
I mean, they could. I mean, it sounds good, but it's also kind of cliche. I feel like it might. I don't know. It's fine.
Maybe I like that one better.
Maybe the Abyss or something abyssal, something. I don't know.
I don't know, but we'll see.
Who is the Poseidon of Age of Sigmar?
Ulmo. Oh, I'm sorry. That's from Silmarillion.
I mean, technically, it's which one of the brothers? Because he was the guy.
Tyrion.
Tyrion.
We got
Tyrion's behind the fish elves.
Then it's him. Yeah, technically, it's him.
What's his name?
Tyrion.
Tyrion's Taint. Even better. Fucking alliteration.
There we go.
Boom. Done. You heard it here first.
Yep. GW, you're welcome.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Kenny. It's whatever it is, it's already said, and what we think is irrelevant. Oh yeah, I don't think it's Mathlin.
Mathlin's Taint. That also works. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna call it Matt's Taint.
But wait, so
we went to a dark place.
So I'm gonna go down with this, right? So you're telling me that I can buy some of those cool, like shark riding guys
probably one. He'd be like the leader. He'd be on his seahorse with a like unicorn horn, and then everybody else would just be kind of basic.
I'm kind of down with that though, because those models were really cool, but there was like no way I was gonna just get them. You know what I mean? Like just for the heck of it.
Well, that's the appeal to Underworlds is you just basically get a little snapshot, a little slice of the Age of Sigmar buffet. And then you're like, you know what? How much is that buffet? All you can eat? All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all good systems, and at some point, it's just going to be so saturated. Everybody's like, you like have to vote for like what game you walk into the game store, and you're like, all right, I got Underworlds. I know there's like two of you here that might play Titanicus. I got that. I got 40K.
That is a gross overestimate of how many people in a local game store are ready with their Titanicus.
Does anybody want to learn how to play Titanicus? I got enough for 2 people. Please play me.
I feel like that would be a more successful strategy, Rob. That you just bring Titanicus and let people play.
You don't even here's how you do it. You don't even play yourself. You get 2 people to play a demo game against each other, and then
that's right. And you arbitrate as a referee.
Spoken like a game store owner.
Indeed. No, that'd be good. But yeah, that's all the big stuff on the horizon. We'll see. There'll be some reveals this week for June. Definitely stoked for Apocalypse. Not because it's Apocalypse and I like Titans. Those things are all true. But I'm really liking this damage resolved at the end of the turn thing. Because let me tell you how many times I played with the Titan and Titanicus. Every time. And let me tell you how many times everybody lands and tries to kill my Titan. And usually kills it on the first turn. Every time as well.
Yes, Tom. Every time.
So it'd be nice to actually do something with the Titan for once.
Really cool.
Uh,
I have a
Rob,
educated.
is this Titanic? Is you talking about what are we still?
no, like the full scale, like Apocalypse.
Oh,
you know,
Pocky clips.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Look, Rob, I am so sorry. Nobody plays Apocalypse. Nobody plays Titanicus.
That's not true.
Rob is not like the patron saint of games nobody plays.
I am sorry because you're my dear friend and I want you to have more fun. I personally don't give a shit, but my empathy does extend to you.
Damn.
They're out there, Kenny. They're out there in their garages and
You found both of them at Adepticon this year and played them. So
I
like
did.
4,000 people, you found 2 people.
And everybody, and all 4,000 people that walked by, every one of them was like, "Oh yeah, I bought that game, but it's still in the box. But it looks cool."
I have a educated guess on how much that Space Marine action figure is going to cost.
Preach.
Oh, that's
on
right. We were
some
talking
other
about
things.
this.
So if you guys didn't know, Bandai, beyond making Gunpla and Gundam models, right? It's kind of what most people know if you're not a toy collector. I'm not a toy collector, but I've heard about this. So they also make a number of other toy lines, one of which is called Figuarts and SH Figuarts. And I believe SH Figuarts is the one that they will do licensing with. So, for example, they did Marvel and DC and Star Wars, as well as Street Fighter and some other properties. And I was kind of trolling around their site the other day, and I found this toy they make of War Machine, who's the bigger, bulkier Iron Man suit for our guy Rhodey in the Marvel universe. This toy is a fully posable action figure, like we've seen. It's similar in height. I think he's only like half an inch shorter than the Space Marine model. And he's also fully painted. And it costs $76.95.
Oof.
And I'm sure there's possible other prices for this same figure, but the website that I'm looking at, that I go through for US distribution of these toys, lists it at $76.95, which is marked down from $84.95.
Ouch.
So if I'm gonna take a guess, given the only information that we know, most of these toys are collector's items and are about the same price point, ranging from about $45 to $99.
Yeah, you showed me that War Machine of the day, and I have to agree with you because he has the armor, simple two-tone, right? Like he's basically black and silver, or like charcoal gray and silver.
Yeah, and he's got some little emblems and
like decals placement. So if this, imagine an Ultramarine was cast in, you can tell that the charcoal gray is like you said, like that's the plastic color.
Mm-hmm.
So it stands to reason that if like you just needed to change the color of the plastic and nothing else, you would have a Ultramarine who was blue, and then like his joints would be all painted with like a black, and his gun silver, like whatever, and then they place the decals. And it's got a similar structure, size, kind of framework, articulation as the War Machine. I could not believe you found that miniature, because I could not imagine it being.
I've just been thinking about it because, like, I know there's some crossover between people in 40K and other hobbies like Gunpla, and so like the people who've done Gunpla, they know about Bandai, they know what they make. They're a brand associated with exceedingly high quality in their products, and as far as I know, so somebody who may know more about this, who's an expert, can correct me. But as far as I know, this is the only thing that they do licensing of, is these action figures in this line. And if we look at the line, that is the only line they do licensing to other people like Marvel and DC and Star Wars, we can kind of infer that the product will be about the same quality and about the same price point. Now, I don't know what they talked about behind closed doors with GW, but GW might have been able to talk them down, get that price point down to a more affordable. But generally speaking, these action figures, these high quality, fully painted action figures that are larger scale, made by companies over in Japan like Bandai, they're technically collector's items. They're not, for your 2-year-old to bang around like a G.I. Joe. So they're probably going to be pretty pricey.
Does it have an Aquila on it?
Oh, yeah, on the chest.
Well, yeah, then it's a bargain. I'll take
Take 2
to make a squad.
It's an action figure. It's also a Space Marine that's probably going to be painted Ultramarines. I mean, like, you got me.
Yeah, I'll have to repaint it.
Which-
I'm not down with the ultra. Maybe I'll just repaint like one fist, make him Crimson Fist. So he's not an Ultramarine.
The repaint market's going to be interesting for these, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how they look, and I think you might be able to get away with just a little airbrush magic over it.
For sure. Just shadowing. I see people on YouTube do it all the time. Like there's a whole YouTube genre of people that buy these sort of like okay painted collector's toys, and then they're like, oh, we're going to work a little movie magic on it and make them look even cooler.
They use like shoe polish, get it into the crevices. It's like all this stuff, man. Like I think it's going to be dope, and I can actually see a rollout, right? Like, you're going to roll out with this many squads. Then you can flip the colors in the next rollout. Then you can introduce like an assault marine, new colors, flip the colors for the rollout, and just keep going. And like, I would buy those. Like, I don't buy all the miniatures, right? Like, I'm not like a miniature collector. I buy the miniatures I'm personally interested in making play, but I will buy the fuck out of some tall statue articulated fucking 40K action figures, even if they're, no matter what legion they are. I gotta have them all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's still cheaper than the Forge World. To be honest, that Forge World statue is like 300 pounds, something insane.
Oh yeah. These say they're 6 inches tall though. I think the Space Marine is no, that might be right because the Space Marine looked about 9 inches tall with the bolter in there. So this could be right.
Well, their public statement at Warhammer Fest was that it's a 7-inch tall, fully posable action figure that is fully painted. So it's not a kit. I know there's some confusion because Bandai does make a line of like quote unquote action figures that you put together off of a sprue that, you know, it makes a posable action figure. But Games Workshop said that it is a action figure that will become fully painted. And if you look at the promo images they showed from Warhammer Fest, it's clearly like a, you know, toy action figure and not a model kit.
Oh, so it's not like a Gundam.
No, it's not, it's not Gundam. That's why I was talking about, because like Bandai makes so much other stuff besides, and they're actually well known for their high quality collector action figures.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have something right here. Well, we're on the podcast, but I actually have one of their Bandai collector figures right here for the
exact same line that War Machine is from.
Yeah, it's a Kurosawa style, or you know, from reimagined like samurai style stormtrooper in armor. I actually don't know. This thing actually costs about $75-$80 now that I think about it.
Are you one of those tryhards who leaves that thing in the box the whole time?
No, I got it out and played with it.
All right, I'm just like, you at least play with it, right? Like,
if you don't play that screen action figure and pull it out and pose it and say "For the Emperor" at least one time, like, can't be friends.
Yeah. like I got all those Bethesda Studio collectors miniatures in the mail the other day, and I was immediately ripping them out and pulling them out and playing with them. But I was like, "There's a collectible." I was like, "I'm gonna play with my toys, sir."
There's a Galactus
correction.
Clearly not in box.
Yeah. You're gonna play with your collectibles. They're not toys. You're too old for toys.
Yeah, my dog.
So
that's what Bonnie says. You're gonna play with your dolls.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Damn, Skippy.
Yeah, this thing's pretty neat. So if they make a Space Marine like this, that'll be cool.
Last time to promote Bay Area Open on the podcast, Rob.
Hey, Bay Area opens this weekend.
He's playing with his fucking Stormtrooper right now.
I was looking at it. I was like, what can I do?
he's like getting ready. Pew, pew, pew.
I was. And then he got me. I was like, damn it.
Bay Area Open this weekend. Technically starts tomorrow on their website, but championship doesn't start till Friday. Runs down on Saturday. I think the final games for the top 8 are on Sunday.
I believe that's how it works, yeah.
Sunday RT and Sunday Long War doubles. All that shit. I'm going to be there. Wyatt Turk, a.k.a. Jacob's Painting. You guys might know him from YouTube or Twitch. Hey, he's on the podcast right now. You might see him there. So if you guys are in town, you're in the Bay Area, even anywhere in Central to Northern California, you should come by, man. Say hi. We're going to be doing our Thug Thizzle, trying to play some games, holding it down, playing some things, and ultimately running that doubles. And I hope those championship belts arrive in time. Look at you, Chad. Because if they don't, I'm going to be mailing them to the guys who win them. But it should be a pretty good event. This is their 9th year and the first like real convention that they've done. And this is Frontline Gaming in conjunction with Kubla Khan.
Sounds right.
Which I like that play on words.
Yep.
Love that, actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. And so this is the first time they've moved venues to like an actual convention. So they are expecting some growing pains this year, which have reflected in some of the numbers. I think we only have officially 15 signups for the doubles, but for some reason you can't sign up anymore on the website. So I have a feeling that there's going to be a huge line of people waiting to sign up on the day. We should be on ITC this time. So anyone coming to the doubles, get them ITC points, homie. We've been working diligently with the Best Coast pairings to make that happen. Big shout out to Arthur, the official CPA of this organization, who's making that happen. And that's not all though, right? That's this weekend, but Slaughterfest, which I think is another one. You don't know anything about that one?
I mean, I know it's at a casino and it's an adult hobby pool party.
It is. Big shout out to Veteran Gamers Reenlisted and Enigma Hobbies. They've combined forces to put together an amazing event, kind of like a mini LVO. Right now, I think they just officially became a major.
Nice.
And they want a few more signups to kind of pad that in case of first round drops.
And Enigma is behind this too?
He's partnered up with Veteran Gamers Reenlisted, a podcast.
It's going to be a solid event, man.
It should be because the gift bags will be legendary if he's involved.
Yeah, absolutely. That dude has more passion than all four of us.
Mm-hmm. Dude's Robert. He's amazing. So that's going to be good. It's going to be here in California, like up in Moretta at this awesome casino, and it's going to be banging. I think it's in July?
Yeah, July 27th to the 28th. So if you go to the website, I believe you can, before I say that, let me make sure. I think there are still spots open. Yeah, it looks like there are still spots open.
Yep. And Wyatt and myself will be there as well. Trying to hold it down, get some games in. But anyone, be advised, you come into this part of the country and play an ITC event, it's dick stomping territory out here.
A lot of heat out in Cali.
Yeah, just look at the sign-up sheet at Barry Open.
Mm-hmm.
That's the news on. We need to come up with a name for that. Like, we've done all these years, we haven't come up with a quippy name. Like, what's new in the FAQ? Tabletop Marketplace.
Oh, for like
Hobby Pipe Dreams. We had that
events.
One. Yeah.
Should we get a soundbite of Rick going, and that's the way the news goes.
Grass tastes bad. I fell asleep to Rick and Morty last night. Season 3.
Yeah, and this is a pro tip right here. So if you have the Adult Swim app on your phone, they do marathons. So you can just put on Rick and Morty and it'll just bring up a random episode and then play all the Rick and Mortys until you fall asleep.
Oh, I'm legit doing that tonight. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fact.
One of the best shows ever.
Forgot to mute myself.
Lists.
Oh yeah, we've got some interesting lists coming out of a couple of recent events, a couple of recent GTs.
So two big events this weekend. Warzone Atomic Empire, which was a qualifier tournament for Warzone Atlanta, which will be happening Veterans Day weekend here in 2019. So not till November, but that's okay. That was, I think, officially the biggest tournament in North Carolina ever in the history of ever. So that was pretty dope. They were a major. Then we had Alamo GT, which I assume happened in Texas. No, I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, obviously. And they were also a major. I think they had more. They had like 90-ish.
Yeah, Alamo GT is like actually a pretty cool event. I used to play in it when I lived in San Antonio back in the day.
So it's been popping off a while. So some of the choices or some of the top list. I mean, the top list of Atomic Empire was, I mean, it had some of your normal stuff you would expect, but then it had the Siegebreaker cohort from Imperial Fist, and that
was really a interesting pick. It also had 3 squads of Eliminators, which are those new dudes from the Shadows Spear box, which is interesting.
The Sniper Duders,
yeah,
and those were pretty cool. Remember, those are the ones that you can. Pretty sure those are the ones that you can just pick out characters, right?
Yeah, they have,
Okay.
They have multiple types of ammunition. They brought back one of the ammo types from the old lore that could like shoot around corners and stuff. Like you'd fire and forget, and it would like track its target.
Bullet curving.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to curve the bullets. Then it was Land Raider Crusader, which even without the beta bolter rules applying to it, like who cares at that point, right? It's still a solid choice when you're trying to. I guess I would assume they're hiding their Centurions in there. Which, when was the last time you saw Centurions?
7th edition.
I mean, like there are so many shots here, like 2 heavy bolters on each one. And then hurricane bolters, obviously on their chesties. So just doing so much. I mean, the whole point of the siege breaker is that it causes more wounds on what, 6 to hit or 6 to wound, I forget.
Yeah, you're stuck in like there's 5 of the. I think they brought 5 or 6 in the squad. There's like 5,
yeah.
5 total, and that's a lot of hurricane bolter shots,
especially at like 12. So you're doing a lot of work. You're doing
Centurions, I believe, are one of the ones that can shoot rapid fire full range and not have to sit still.
They would be beta bolter ruled.
Yeah, isn't it Centurions, Terminators, and Bikes?
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure. Yep. Chat isn't disputing any of these facts, so I feel like we're onto something here.
Because like the first place list, it has that. Also some Skitarii.
I mean,
with no knights, which is interesting. And then you look at second place, and it's the list. Like it's the
Castellan.
The Castellan, the Armigers, the Imperial Guard, the Smash Captain. Like so, super interesting list choice for first place, and probably like really, really good piloting of that list to be able to pull it out against like a super meta list.
Apothecaries too in the Imperial Fists.
Who was piloting that list?
This was, let's see,
Hmm.
Mark Hertel. Hertel.
Good job, Mike.
Mark.
Sorry, Mike is not what I meant to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot going on with this list. It's really cool to see when stuff like this does well. And then he's got a little guard, side pocket guard attachment with, just some stuff to pop some screens and some infantry and commanders and stuff. But yeah, I like the Castellan. Some people are like, people are never going to take Castellans and blah, 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 blah. But there was one of the Alamo lists that had a Castellan too that I think did well also.
Yeah, so like the third place list is a variation of the list.
Mm-hmm.
3 knights and some Imperial Guard. So that's the
Crusaders, right? Or the shooting ones.
Gallant Crusader Castellan. Kind of a plug and play knight list with some guard allies. So that's pretty standard. Necrons got second place at Alamo GT. Like that's insane. And
they went undefeated even because it had like 90
awesome.
people.
Destroyers. He's got 3 Doomsday arcs in here. Like,
oh yeah,
like crazy. Like good for him for real. Like taking the
wait. Did you say that he had no destroyers?
No.
What?
He has 3 Doom Scythes, Emotech, bunch of Immortals, Tomb Blades.
Oh.
A Crypt Deck and 3 Doomsday arcs. That's it.
Tomb Blades do work.
3 9. I spotted 9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Emotech's what's up too. I mean,
Emotech's no joke.
Yep. He's still good.
They do work. They're hard to interact with. They've got stratagems to keep them alive. They absorb a lot of fire. Tomb Blade's real good. But I am kind of shocked to see no destroyers.
I am shocked because I'm playing an ITC tourney in June. I have all the destroyers, literally all of them. But I need a crutch in my defense. So,
true.
I mean, it's.
Do you think that we're seeing the first I don't know, the side effect of the best in faction change from ITC, from the Frontline Gaming Crew, on how model builds work? Do you think we're starting to see that?
It's possible. The guy who won the Alamo GT is the same guy who won the Dallas GT a month or so ago, and he's still playing his mono Thousand Suns. Matthew Ailey, super talented player, great looking army. I actually saw him at a local RTT a few weeks ago that I went to. He got first in that with this army. And we have the mono Necrons. I mean, like we can't do anything but mono Necrons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to see a shift in the meta like this that's bringing in armies that normally you wouldn't see, and anything that kind of shakes it up to get some new information into that kind of meta melting pot is a good thing.
Yeah. And what's awesome about this is not a nerf. This isn't a rebalance. This is literally just Frontline Gaming, who's stepped up to create a huge pro tour to generate that hype engine for competitive play. It's just them changing the way a Covenant award is tracked. Best in faction. They said no longer will you be able to create all these different hybrid lists and then just claim one of them as your faction. You will have to be mono faction. Just it. This is not even GW nerfing something. This is like us as a community deciding this is something that we want to do, and you're watching it. Because remember back in the day when it was Alpha Strike was the first problem. Day one, 8th edition, whoever deployed first can go first. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And so it created this Alpha Strike problem that people were having, making these really small armies that can go first. And then it started switching to Beta Strike. And the only real reason to switch to that is because we decided together as a community that would be better. It was really us. It wasn't GW changing it to a +1 to go first because it's still a perceived advantage. It was us saying it'd be cool if we played it beyond turn 1. And then it started happening. So this is not the first time this has happened this edition. I'm very excited even me and Wyatt, we discussed today earlier all of our dreams for model builds for the upcoming tournaments. So I'm committed to it just because of that. Because they said it and people are embracing it, running with it, I'm making a model build too because I want that too. I want that scheme. So this is awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great. Like I have nothing but positive things to say about this. Like sometimes meta changes due to like sort of the hand of God coming down and like changing the rules on us, which can sometimes hurt, especially if you've, been like prepping for a tournament and then, 2 weeks out, they come out with an FAQ that makes your army dog shit. And you're just like, oh, great. But if it's like a social change that we all, we all make this sort of social agreement and everybody can be happy about it. And that's even better.
Yeah, I've got one too right here in chat. Stiff Neck Studios, he says, the crazy thing is Matthew has been playing Mono T Suns for a while. He's just a baller and knows his shit. That's even better. That's even more to my point. Lots of people out there, Mike Haspil on this podcast, right? Love playing mono builds. They have been playing them. They know their shit. They're experts with their mono builds. And it wasn't until, and I'm not saying that like Matthew wasn't winning tournaments. I'm saying is like now as a community, since we're all like, that is a cool fucking way to play. Let's all do that together. Now you start to see other lists doing well, other really hardcore lists, kind of like we all are giving them permission to not have to play them because the only reason you play that list is because this guy's playing that list, So now if we all kind of together kind of like lower our guns, then all the mono builds of the world start having a little bit more success. And that's the side effect. That's what I like. That's what I like to see.
I think, there's something to be said for that. Like people like Thomas Bird, that's like all about Ultramarines. And he got like 7th overall at Adepticon this year. And people were like, there's like whole Reddit threads like, oh, OMG, this guy played Ultramarines. And then people would take his list and they couldn't figure out like kind of what was going on, where it's a little bit different with this Imperial Fist list. You can kind of get a grasp of what's happening just by kind of looking at it. And it's not a mono build by any means, but it's still got a lot of Imperial Fists in there, which is really cool to see. So there's definitely something to be said in this day and age, myself included, Everybody's busy. It's hard to find time for hobby. It's hard to find time to play. Sticking with one list and working it through the changes, through the FAQs, through the new supplements and stuff. Sometimes it gets better. Sometimes it gets worse. But, you know, at some point you gotta be like, oh, it's just too bad. I can't play this anymore. And you shelf it or whatever. But those people are going to be the ones that really, and we saw this with Don Houston. Houston. You know, he's like all about, like, he's a Death Guard savant, you know. So you've got these pocket dudes that stick to their guns. They're like, this is my jam. I'm going to play this. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn every nook and cranny. You know, they're jamming on it. And these are the folks that really, they're kind of like the vanguard of, so to speak, of, oh, hey, see what they're doing with their list now. But the cool thing is that you can take some of these lessons learned and apply them to your army. Like, oh, okay, well, what's T-Stun's tricks? All right, they dish out a lot of mortal wounds, and they can pick on things. And, you know, just obviously Zangor bomb, but not everybody can do that. But so then you can take those elements and you can be like, well, how could I do that same thing in my list? And so you can kind of plug and play some of the tactics perhaps to your army. And that's what's really cool about keeping up with the stuff. But me personally, I've been playing the same basic list since before the big FAQ dropped, and now the big FAQ dropped, and I'm like, hey, that's cool. It's pretty much the same. You know, I wasn't over the top. It wasn't under the top, and I'm still pretty happy with it. And I continue to play it and develop it. And I'm just super happy with it, you know, and I feel like 40K is in a better place here going into year 2 than it was.
Has it only been 2 years since 8th?
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
That adds up. I've got one last one I want to comment on. Bulldog says nothing against these winners of these tournaments, but could the amount of tournaments be spreading the talent thinner than in the past? ? Here's a fact. You put a bunch of people in a room together, like thousands, and then maybe hundreds of them are playing in a single event. That event is easier to do better at than a smaller event with a few talented people, right? So in the past, when it was like, got to go to these 2 or 3 events, the only ones in the country, you know, sure, top guys are always the top guys at those events, but people were definitely doing better there than if they went to like a 40-man event, you know, that was hosted the week after, and some of the same guys went there. So I would say maybe you're right that it is spreading some of that thinner, but at the end of the day, that's where the Pro Tour comes. That's the genius of the Pro Tour, right? Is that where people are tracking this? You're getting your 5 scores and you're dropping the lowest ones. And so it doesn't matter if it's being spread thin, because the quality of victory, which is assigned to the size of the event, is what matters. And you still are seeing the same, like, 10 guys doing the best, but now we're getting new guys up on the list. So I feel like it's opposite. Like, now I'm hearing about guys I never heard about before, winning games with Thousand Suns and smashing it out and getting serious ITC points, probably going to be guaranteed to be the best Thousand Suns player this year.
Or the best Space Marine player in the case of Thomas Bird. I think he's right towards the top 2. So it's funsies. It's you know, there's whatever it is, there's a leaderboard for you, and it's funsies. So I'm you know, I think it's a good thing for the hobby. 100%.
Good job,
Rob. Bay Area Open, man. Who knows what we're going to see there, right? Like, this is going to be exciting.
Well, I mean, we do. It's on the app right now.
No, but I mean, like, who, you know, the top finishers.
I mean, there's some big names there. Brandon Grant's going to be there. So,
yeah.
Brandon Grant, for anyone to know, he won LVO. So
he's won Bay Area a couple times too, right?
I think last winner was Husin.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But Brandon Grant is a known dick stomper in this region. He's a gangster. He just won LVO this year. So currently on record, he is the human who has won the single largest 40K tournament in the history of planet Earth. So the weight of that statement makes him my pick to win Bay Area Open.
So solid prediction.
He's also crushed me twice, both times we played. So I know I can attest to it's not a fluke that he does good at LVO. He's good. He doesn't make mistakes. That's the thing I can say about it. He don't make mistakes. If he'd be on my fantasy pick.
Practice definitely makes perfect. You know, that's what separates the winners from the losers, literally. But for me, it's about seeing what factions and what combinations do well there, and then applying it to what your armies and such.
I couldn't get his list to load in the app, maybe because it didn't register me yet. But he won with the list at LVO this year. The list, right? And so, okay, it's the list. Rolls eyes. That guy's been doing good with every list, but nobody played the list better than him on Earth. Like he just to Rob's earlier point, he knew everything that the list can do, like the Castellan, the Smash Captives, and the Guardsmen. He tweaked it to the perfect, like just absolute, efficiency. So that's his. I mean, so if you're gonna have to play that list twice to win a GT, like he beat all of them, and no one beat him.
And guess what? It just got easier to play that list. I mean, besides the points going up, the fly thing is huge.
Fly came back. I really, like I said, I couldn't get the app to load, but I'm really interested in it. When I see him there, I'm going to talk to him and ask him some questions, see if I can get a statement.
Yeah, see where he got the extra 100 points from, and see what he dropped, and maybe he thinks things are shifting left or right.
I'd like to get a statement from him, see what he thinks.
It's not just you. I just looked it up, and nobody can see anybody's list until the start of the event. It says the tournament organizers have decided to hide these settings until the event starts.
Got him.
That seems fair though.
Hey, that's actually totally fair.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I know. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I could see that being a new thing for the future. So I'll probably be uploading my list in the car on the way there because I didn't sign up till last night. But it's going to be a hype ass weekend, guys. So I'll do my best to take pictures, post some shit up. Definitely find my Facebook. I'll probably be doing a live thing on Facebook, and we'll be saying hi and handies and hugs all the way around, man. But you don't want to get too close because I'm feeling a little under the weather. I think that hobo gave me something.
So do people have to work? Can they work a little bit easier to ice you? Because it'll be harder to interact with you.
I'm going to ask people to please refrain from icing this weekend.
Oof.
Now, obviously, that's just me asking. I can't stop you guys.
Bold move. Let's see how it pans out.
Viking Teabag asks, is there going to be a Frontline game stream? I can assure you almost certainly.
Probably.
It won't, it's not going to be the GW stream team. It'll be, the ITC, the Frontline game stream team. And I'll probably be there helping. Hey, maybe there is a slight chance I don't play. Not because I'm not going to be ready or my army's not ready. But if I feel any more under the weather going into it tomorrow, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I miss work next week. I'll just take it easy during the GT days, and I'll probably just help run the stream. So I would say that's a 25% chance right now.
Well, I hope you feel better, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Rob, we're done.
Why don't you just ask Haspil yourself? How many times a week Haspil take us out of here?
It's like the great stories, the ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were. And sometimes you didn't want to know the end because how could the end be happy?
Arrival of black ships pending. All warp no abominations. Please report to the disembarkation point.